and good morning people. Welcome back to Star Ocean, till the end of time. Last time, after our time in 4D space and returning to the planet Styx where we were ambushed of course, we have made it back to the Diplo, which was conveniently on its way to find us at the planet. No idea why, but I'm glad they're here because they've allowed us to get back to Elicoor so we can find the sacred orb and borrow it from the kingdom of, or queendom of Aquaria. So everyone here is wishing us good luck and wanting us to defeat Lufa, who is in charge of the 4D forces. And he's trying to destroy the universe, so let's go and borrow the orb to get to him. And conveniently, we're right next to where we need to go.
Let's go to Aquios.
Indeed, we shall. But Elicoor has changed slightly. We've got new enemies all over the place. We've got some UNTs there, we've got some Proclaimers over there, and just behind the Proclaimer is probably the most annoying enemy. They're called Killer Moths. We'll get to those in a moment. Let's start off with this UNT.
That's a dirty trick.
Oh, and conveniently, we have a what's it called? Killer Moth inside of it. UNTs, they're pretty much the same as what we faced on Styx. Just a bit more health, a bit more MP, lighter materials, nothing special. The Killer Moths though, this is probably the newest enemy model and quite annoying. You might notice behind this Killer Moth here, there's some little bits of dust. If you walk into that, you get damaged. I believe it's HP and MP damage, so they are. So whenever you attack, if you attack from behind, you will be knocked out of any attacks that you do. We'll probably see that. They also have some very annoying attacks. 27,000, so they're not exactly durable, but if that can go. Yeah, they're not durable, but they can be annoying if you let them to be. This thing though is not a challenge, the UNT. There we go.
Death awaits the overconfident. Remember that.
So Killer Moths, just try not to attack them from behind. Let's see if I can get a better shot at... No, it's up in the air at the moment. Oh well. Anyways, these Proclaimers, they're not really any different from the ones on Styx, actually. I believe it's pretty much the boss fight doubled, like the old ones were. The pure white, just have a bit... 97,500, 6,000 bundles worth. Yeah, so this is basically two of the boss fight enemies. So they're not really dangerous either. So I'd say for the most part we are safe on this end for the enemies. And this should be dead soon. There we go. 4,000 experience, 16,000 fold. So pretty decent. For an easy-ish fight, it's not too bad. Anyways, let's see if I can get these to show me. Okay. Yeah, as you can see there, I got knocked out of my thing because I hit the what's the dust behind them. They also have that.
That was easier than I thought.
I think Pepita works very well against them killer moths though, because her moves are just really AoE specific, or non-specific. Her kaboom goes all around her. Her kaboom goes all around her. Her fairy friend goes all around her. So they're pretty good against the killer moths. Anything that you're trying to do from directly behind just doesn't work usually. But that's the enemies for this sort of area. There's no new, no other new enemies here. It's not really the best place for experience, you might think. The enemies are pretty easy and stuff like that. But there is something slightly better for rotation if you wanted to gain some levels. And it's actually in what I class as the worst place, worst area in the game. Yep, we're going to the Palmyra Plains. And this probably has the best area for rotation, for enemy rotation. What we have here is one of those. This is not like the enemy on sticks, this is the blood monster. This is pretty much a red version. It's got slightly more HP and MP and gives a bit more experience. And we also have the Enforcer there. The best rotation for experience outside of the arena with that 6,666 is coming from Paternity here, fighting that blood monster, fighting that Enforcer. If you go down here, there's another Enforcer, and I do believe there's another blood monster over there. And then just leaving the area, coming back and doing the same thing. The reason being, well, let's show you. Since I've got to show the enemies. Blood monster. 105,000 health, 7,500 MP. So it's not really that dangerous either, this fight. Because it's big, it's not really that nasty though.
You've got some good moves. I should introduce you to the circus master.
Being big means it can get hit by many attacks. And that's 3,333 experience. So that's half of what we got with that the arena battle with the two beast monsters.
Let's take them.
And we've got the Enforcer here. Scan it. 123,000. This one's a bit more dangerous than the blood monster because I've got in its way a lot. But for the most part, ow.
Poison cloud!
Yeah, this one's a bit more dangerous than the blood monster, but for the most part, come on. Come on, get me out there, thank you. Usually I don't have as much problem with these as I am now. And... ow. I keep getting hit by that, and it's really not helping. Yay! Let's get everyone up again. Where are you, Restoration? There you are. Let's make sure you aren't going after him, after Sophia. Oh, bugger. Let's actually use it on an enemy, on Nell, shall we? There we go. I can't believe this is so, this is being so annoying. And there we go again. It's that one move which I hate most of all.
Thanks for the help.
I can't move.
And again, confusion.
Poison cloud! Mirror slide!
And again, confusion. Thank you. But 5,000 experience. Usually that doesn't take nearly as much effort as I took there. Anyways, yeah. Blood monster here. Enforcer over here. Gate is here. Rinse, repeat. Going out, going in, fighting, and then doing the same. The one last enemy is this Convictor here. Hopefully this won't be as much trouble, but 67,000. This won't be hard. These are actually very easy.
To the netherworld with you.
And there we go. Yeah. Enforcers are probably the toughest enemy. And even they are not as tough as they were showing me up there. But that's actually all the enemies on Elicoor now. UNTs, killer moths, blood monsters, and enforcers and proclaimers, and the convictors. That is all the enemies. They are not changed across the overland of Elicoor. They're not changed. No, they don't change on any particular area. Even on the airy hills, if we move over to the side here, we'll see a enforcer to the side there. It's the same one as what we just faced. There's a Convictor there, same one we just faced. I believe, yep, there's some killer moths. More killer moths, and I believe, yep, there's a blood monster just to the left there, and there'll be a proclaimer to our right. And there it is. So yeah, enemies for the most part are exactly the same across all areas now, because there's no real need for them to be upgraded since we're just moving across from places. We can also, now that we're back on Elicoor, come back to 4D space. I'm only here for one reason, and that's to go to Vlad's house, so I will meet you there. And we're close enough. Yeah, I'm only here to speak to Vlad and his mother. Well, actually, that's not really true. I'm actually here to pilfer an item from their house. So that's why I'm really here. But let's talk to Vlad and his mother anyway. Vlad has actually never met Blair in real life. He's only had adventures with her in the Eternal Sphere. So the second half of the annual Milky Way scenario in the Eternal Sphere has come to a complete stop. Lots of players who are stuck in local galactic clusters are trapped. So there are players still in the Eternal Sphere who are stuck in the area with everything being destroyed around them, and they might be hurt as well in the panic. Since when you go into the Eternal Sphere in this world, you sort of put your whole body into it. How about his mother? Yeah, she doesn't like us. That won't change pretty much ever. Vlad and Blair though have never met, but I'm pretty certain with their friendship that they will in the future. The item I want to pilfer though is the smithy hammer. This item is pretty simple. Raise the smithery success rate, which is actually quite helpful for some of the more hard to make items, the 100 stuff, which I will be needing later. Well, I don't need it, but they will be they might be helpful. You can talk to people, your friends do have other topics of conversation. There's Mirage around in the area now you can speak to. But nothing is really too important. They don't say anything too important, they make comments about the area. Let's go and talk to Mirage though in this sort of section. But she takes note of something I said earlier. Come on, Mirage, exit. Looks like you can step out of this corridor. But even when you fall, you wind up back where you started. And she's also tested it herself, just for the heck of it. So you could walk out of here, even though we can't, and pretty much land back on this pathway. I'm guessing it's something to do with the fact it's 4D space and our minds can't sort of comprehend the dimensions, because it looks like there's no way down to there, but obviously there is, and the same on the other side. Also looks sort of like you can go underneath it. That's the bottom of a house instead of the top. So, and the house is underneath it, if we look from the distance. So yeah, I'm just guessing it's the 4D space dimensions which are sort of playing tricks on our mind. We could go back to the Sphere Company as well, but there's nothing really to do there. We could go up the levels 6 to 100 individually. Some of them have items, some of them don't. It's mostly synthesis materials though, and I don't really need those. We will be going back there eventually for the levels 101 upwards, but right now they're not available to us. They won't be available until a certain part of the game has passed. So really there's no point to go there just for the moment. Any items that I want between 6 and 100 I can get when I go back there for the higher levels of the company. So I'll be waiting on that for a bit. I did make mention that Pepita says about the clowns. I was looking a little bit like Gonella, but she doesn't see them like that. They're pretty different to her. Mostly because she knows Gonella personally. She knows about little things. Lots of scars on his makeup, on his face when makeup is off, and he doesn't look always look nice like these clowns. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going back to the Eternal Sphere and heading off to Eriglyph, and then I will be going back to Aquios because I need to go to Eriglyph first for something. So I will meet you in Eriglyph, I guess. And here we are in Eriglyph. The reason I want to be here is I need to go into the castle. Might remember I did a letter for the King of Eriglyph a while back. It's time to get the reward for this particular... Well, not the reward, the final interaction for this particular event. We need to talk to this person, the unflappable old woman. Rumoured His Majesty's wedding has been officially announced, or will be officially announced. However, the bride is not Lady Elena. It's someone not to be announced yet. Well, except that the rumour is the daughter of the High Priestess of the Church of Apris. It seems the king has fell in love with her at first sight. Well, it sort of goes a bit further back than that. And we get a relationship between Aquaria and the Eriglyph, which is something that is quite sorely needed after the war. And I believe, personally, it will only do good things for the two countries. But now that that's done, we can go back to Aquaria, because we need to not only see the Queen, but we also need to see the High Priestess's daughter. So I will meet you there. Yep, back across the country. And here we are in Aquaria, or Aquios to be exact. I do need to do some leveling with Mirage, but really, I am going to wait for a little bit until I've got someone back on my team. And we've got new entries, so let's have a look at those.
enters.
Okay, anyways,
Your arrival
inventors.
concerns you?
We've got Meryl. Girl raised from early age alongside her father's machines. One of the better engineers. Not the best, but one of the better ones. Does add to the time though, so you do need to be careful of that, but really that's not really too much problem. There's also Count Noppen, who is one of the people in Eriglyph. I would have picked him up while I was there, but you don't get him until you actually go into Aquaria for the first time, after returning to Elicoor. Success is comprised of 90% good fortune, which is from his lineage, 5% delusion and 5% conceit, so he doesn't do anything himself. He uses his wealth to pretty much create anything he wants. And they're actually quite good, which is really unfortunate sometimes. And there's Boyd, who is the best smither in the game. Has some of the best items available to create from him. Between him and one we picked up in Paternity, Gusto, they can make anything. He's slow, but it's very much worth it. The item needed though is a bit of a problem. You might remember back on the bunny races where I said the Bent Mystic Blade was a weapon for fate. I was wrong. It's actually needed for Boyd. Luckily I believe you get it somewhere else, but I'm not sure exactly where just yet.
Now saves grief later.
And Mithril. I want as many of those as possible. They are extremely nice. I do actually need to check the shop sometime as well. I'll do that between parts, I think. Anyways, first things first, while we're in Aquaria, is you might notice Nell is here with the daughter of the High Priest of Aquaria. Rosaria. And Nell has heard the news, just like we have. And that's a good question. You have been at war with that king for quite a while. But Nell understands it's a choice the girl has made herself. Can't really do too much to change her mind when it's already set. Make every effort to like him once he becomes the husband. These two have been friends for a very long time. And in comes fate. We've known each other years. I think they've missed a 4 there. But they haven't introduced each other. But really, we've seen Rosario quite a bit. She is the one that gave us the disintegration hammers after when we went to Kadan the first time. Indeed she is. It will happen eventually, but what we're going to say is congratulations, because she's being wed. We don't really want to make any other issues about it. We need to just congratulate her. "15 years the two have known each other, so it's not recent, it's quite a bit. And I'd say that's most of the years that Rosaria's been alive. I'd say she looks around about 21, maybe a little bit younger than that. And here comes the teasing from Nell. But Rosaria's not with a few barbers of her own. And she's not afraid to use her claws. So, yeah, Rosaria wins this battle. But that's that interaction. That gives us a bit more like by Nell, which is exactly what I wanted when the personal interaction started a long time ago. The initial thing didn't give us the best option with Nell. This one more than makes up to it. But that is pretty much it for the moment. We need to go and see the Queen, and we also need to then go back to Elicoor. Let's go see the Queen before I end the part. And next time we'll go back to Elicoor for another personal interaction that is quite important, actually. So, in to see the Queen. No, we didn't expect to come back, did we? Yeah, the enforcers, the executioners are here. It's not just the convictors, it's the enforcers and the proclaimers here as well. And Aquaria, the 27th silence in the cell again, thank you. It will allow us to get to the person that's controlling the executioners at the very least. So we have have the Queen's permission to go and get the orb. Darkest night, where all the stars in the sky were extinguished, pretty much when the executioners were attacking all the systems. They did not seem driven to attack people. Some tried to live in harmony with them, but that's not really helpful. Yeah, the enemies are sort of emanating evil from them. And what they've named the Fire Wind, which are these evil emanations, destroying the runilogical force that binds the soul of a living being to its body. And they lose control, grow deformed, and become insane and corrupted, which is pretty much what the UNTs are. They're the people, and the wild animals and monsters are sort of the well, we've got the blood monsters, we've got the killer moths, and I believe even the convictors and enforcers are sort of like them. But yeah, so that's what we're facing. Ktan is also similarly affected. I did mention earlier that Adre would be joining us and back with us. If we hadn't picked him up at the time of the war with Aeroglyph, we would be getting him back now. But since I did, I will not be getting him until a certain point in the future. You sort of have to balance that. There's two good points for getting him now. One is you get more levels quicker on him, because you're getting a lot more experience at this point in the game, and you will get levels quicker. And you also, and the other point is, you will have your full team again, so you can start building up your strategies. The bad points, though, sort of outweigh that. Firstly, if you don't get him for the war with Aquaria, you only have your three people, 4 if you have Roger with you. And really, having Adre gives you an extra heal in that area, so it's much better to have him then, I believe. You also get to have him to sort of get used to his playstyle, which is a bit different from everyone else's. So you'll get used to that a bit quicker. The other one is you don't get to see his ending. If you don't pick him up for the war, you don't get to see his ending at the end of the game, if you have enough affection with him. So there is another reason why you would want to pick him up. Plus, it's actually not too long until we get him back, even after this point. So, really, get him for the war, use him a little bit for his healing, and raise him up a little bit, get used to his attack patterns. Then get him back a bit later here. It's not really that much change. But anyways, next time we will go back to Aquaria for another personal interaction, which is very important. I need to check up on it before I even go there, because I want something to happen, and if it doesn't, there's a little bit of a problem and I'm going to have to use some items. So, until then, have a wonderful day, have lots of fun, goodbye.